This episode is going to take you on a roller coaster ride of divine drama, scandal, and sensational sermons. Born in 1890 in the quaint town of Salford, Ontario, little did anyone know this Canadian farm girl would be preaching to dolls one day and captivating the masses as an evangelistic sensation in glitzy Los Angeles the next. We're going to tell the tale of Aimee Semple McPherson.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Weird World Podcast. I'm Dean.
I'm Carrie.
Carrie's going to tell the tale, a glitzy tale. That was really well written, by the way. I'm going to say that, Carrie. I'm just going to throw that out there.
You sound shocked.
Well, I mean, it was a little more, a little zazz to that verbiage. That was good. I like that.
I worked on my T's.
Okay.
For once.
Okay. This is Aimee Semple McPherson, and I know about her a little bit. I know one of the most intriguing parts of her story is a little bit like Agatha Christie in that she sort of disappeared for a while as an extremely well-known person, especially in LA, in California. So, but she was a national, right? She had a church in LA, but she was nationally well-known, correct?
Yes, she was.
So tell us, Gary, tell us about the story. The glitzy glamour of Aimee Semple McPherson.
And Aimee is spelled A-I-M-E-E.
Just because.
She's no ordinary A-M-Y.
It's a very 21st century
It is
spelling.
weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, she's Aimee Elizabeth Kennedy is her birth name. She's born October 9th, way back in the olden days, 1890, in, as I said, this really small rural town in Salford, Ontario, Canada.
You have to give the miles from Toronto for.
Oh, no idea.
Damn it.
She was the only child of her father, James, and her mother, Minnie Pierce. Minnie was her father's second wife. Her father was married before he was a farmer in this small little rural town. He was a very staunch Methodist man. And before he married her mother, he and his first wife had 3 children.
His first wife for sure died, and died, right? They didn't get divorced back then. Not farmers in rural Ontario.
I'm going to tell you the story.
Oh.
Just
Did she die in a pitchfork accident?
She got sick.
Oh.
They had 3 kids. He was a hard-working farm man. But once his wife got sick, don't know what she had, but it was serious,
She had
clearly.
pitchforkitis, I think.
He was having a hard time taking care of the farm and taking care of these 3 small kids. So I actually don't know how small they were, but so he prayed for some help. And wouldn't you know, he got it. A 14-year-old girl just popped by. I'm assuming she went to the same church or something. I don't know where she came from. But a 14-year-old girl came to help him, take care of his sick wife and the house and the kids and all that kind of stuff so he could just worry about the farm. And then his wife died. And the 14-year-old girl stuck around, helped with the arrangements with the dead wife, and then helping with the kids in the house.
I think we know what. Carrie, you've unintentionally turned this into a murder.
And then,
for sure, that first wife was murdered by a pitchfork.
Wouldn't you know? James falls in love with the 14-year-old nanny / mother's helper /
creepy and murderous.
Housekeeper?
It's not super uncommon for that to happen, is it? For like the nurse or something like that.
It's very common. In fact,
but
I know
14 years
of
old.
This happening in my parents had friends that this happened to. But I think his kids were fairly grown by that time. But how old do you think the father was?
38.
54.
54. This is taking an ultra creepy tone.
And they don't even have Aimee yet. She's not born.
Wow. Well, good for him.
I know nothing of the 3 older half siblings.
Or gross for him.
They are gone from the story.
Conveniently.
But this was so scandalous in Little Salford, Ontario, Canada, that James and the new wife's name was Mildred, but she went by Minnie, so we're going to call her Minnie. Okay. They had to flee Canada. They had to come to the United States with fictitious paperwork.
I feel like if they'd gone to Alberta in that time, no one would have known them.
I don't know, but they lied and said that he was 42 and she was 22.
Okay. Is she much older by then? Is she 15, 16 years old? I'm not saying it's not.
No, she was 14.
She's 14.
Yes. They didn't waste any time.
Okay.
Or he didn't waste any time.
Yeah.
One source said, Minnie he was still pretty religious, and clearly they go back.
Yeah.
They didn't stay in America, but he was pretty religious. Some people said the guilt of what they had done kind of got to her. And so she becomes very involved in Salvation Army stuff. She's going to meetings and services and stuff.
Clanging bells outside supermarkets, I'm assuming.
No, didn't have any supermarkets. Apparently, Aimee had to walk 5 miles to school every day. Sure, Aimee.
You're right.
That's
Uphill,
what she
both
says.
ways.
Sometimes, she'd get a ride on a whatever.
Ox cart.
Horse-drawn
I don't know.
carriage.
Sure.
I don't know. But so anyway, so her mom, Minnie, is taking her with her to Salvation Army meetings and stuff. And Salvation Army, I was not very aware of where they came from, but they were founded by a Methodist minister about 25 years before Aimee was born in England. And their mission was to provide services for people not served by traditional churches, like, doing things like soup kitchens and shelters and stuff like that.
Their mission is to annoy people coming out of stores. That's a fact.
Sure. But early on, they, like during wartime, they would do stuff for returning soldiers and marginalized people. Yeah, it sounds great. But
Until they start annoying
we
people
know
coming
how
out of
that
stores.
goes. Yeah. It's supposed to be open to
not so
everybody.
great.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
I've heard bad things. But so
Have you?
anyway.
Ooh, smearing the Salvation Army. Go Carrie.
I've heard that anti-LGBTQ stuff, which
From the
isn't
Salvation Army?
shocking.
Yeah, you surprised by that?
No, I'm not. But they're public in their mission and stuff. They specifically say they do include. They're open to everybody, including LGBTQ people. So I don't know.
There's an asterisk.
I'm not saying I know for sure. So when Aimee was a child, she would play Salvation Army with her classmates and dolls,
That is
and
the worst kids game ever.
she would preach sermons to them.
Oh, God. To the dolls and the classmates?
Yes.
Oh, I wouldn't want to be either one of those.
Well, she was kind of a smart kid. And as she got a little older, she started becoming a normal kid. And she started doing things like wanting to go to the movies and wear pretty dresses.
Scandalous. So 1890s, so now we're 19 teens or something like that?
Probably,
maybe?
yeah.
Okay.
Or no,
Maybe
probably not
19
quite.
O's, the aughts, the old
the
aughts.
O's.
Okay.
And then she realized she really liked to dance.
Oh,
And
well, that's not going to work.
her Methodist father and her Salvation Army mother were not super pleased.
Super convenient because these were white people and white people can't dance anyway. So it's very convenient for Methodists to be, for like evangelistic Christians to be anti-dancing is, I think, kind of a, a little too on the nose.
Well, when she was in high school, she started learning about things like evolution.
Oh, yikes.
And she was questioning.
Are we back in Southford, Ontario?
in
Okay.
Canada.
So they didn't go to America that long.
No, they
Just
just
to
went
let the
there to get
steam
married.
blow off. That's not a thing, but go ahead.
Yeah. So she was learning about evolution, and it kind of differed from what she was learning in the Methodist Church and the Salvation Army places. And I think she liked school and she trusted it, but it was starting to make her question what she was learning in the Bible, from the Bible. So she would go to people at church and talk about her quandary and questions, and mainly like, I believe the Bible, but how can our schools be teaching this other stuff that is in direct conflict? And so she writes a letter to a Canadian newspaper questioning the taxpayer-funded teaching of evolution,
Okay.
because the church people convinced her
Yeah.
evolution is wrong and the Bible is right. And then people all across Canada responded to her letter in the paper. And so this was her first taste of fame. And it kind of started her, she had a lifelong crusade against evolution.
Yeah.
And this is where it started. In 1907, she's 17 at this time, she asked her dad to take her to a revival meeting nearby where they lived.
Okay, that's not supposed to happen that way. It's supposed to be you're dragged to a revival meeting. You don't ask, oh, can I go to, please go to a revival meeting. Oh my God, the tent will be hot. The person will be screaming. Everybody will be shaking. It'll be so fun.
Well, her dad took her.
Okay.
So by this time, he's what, like 70?
He's 1,000 years old. Yeah.
And
Did she have any sisters? She was the only one, you said. Okay. Child from the second wife.
yes,
Minnie.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just her. So this revival meeting was led by an Irish evangelist named Robert Semple.
Uh-oh.
He was a Pentecostal preacher.
I think I know where this is going.
And Pentecostal are like the people that speak in tongues
Yeah.
and wriggle around and
Healing. Wiggle around is good. They also occasionally handle snakes.
they vibrate from
Yeah,
the Lord
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snakes.
No snakes.
Ah, well.
There was no talk of snakes.
They don't know what they're doing. They need snakes. They need
In
venomous
Amy's life.
snakes.
Well, Aimee was captivated by his preaching and maybe his hunkiness. And
Sure.
she experienced a profound spiritual awakening.
Okay. I
Her
feel like she
father-
was already there, but that's fine.
Her father was a more conservative Methodist, and he didn't really like the Pentecostal flamboyant ways. And so Aimee kept going. He didn't. And when she was at home, her mom didn't like it either. So when she was at home, she'd have to tone down. She couldn't talk about Reverend Semple and all the goings on in the revival. I don't know if it was a tent or a building or whatever.
And one of the persons up on the stage said, blah, 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 which apparently was Aramaic, they tell me. So.
Well, she wants to start spending more time at the revival meetings and kind of less time working on school stuff.
Uh-oh.
And her parents don't like it. They actually forbid her.
That's the worst thing they could do to a
seeing
teenage female at any time.
Yeah, but we know how that
Did he
usually
wear a
works
leather
out.
jacket and stand near a motorcycle?
I don't know how old he was. Did nothing ever?
Knowing her background, he's probably 48.
No, I don't think he was that old because I've seen pictures
Okay.
at the time. He doesn't look that old.
Dyed his hair.
The two quickly fall in love. We knew where this was heading.
Yes, we did.
And even though her parents had forbid her from seeing him, I guess they kind of threw up their hands and realized her dad's like, I'm too old for this shit.
And she's pregnant.
No, she was not.
Yeah, she was.
They got married in August 1908 in a Salvation Army ceremony on the
Weird.
Kennedys' family farm.
Okay.
So
okay, they got that one thing in their favor. It's gonna be a
Yes.
Methodist ceremony. No shaking, no snakes, no speaking in tongues.
Yep.
The occasional healing. The wine is going to be wine. The water is going to be water.
So it was probably a dry
Probably.
ceremony. But so they go to Chicago for a little bit. And then in 1910, they decide to go do some missionary work in China.
It was huge back in those days.
Yeah. But good Lord, imagine just getting to China in 1910.
Yeah, you had to take a boat.
Yeah.
Brutal.
I don't know how, but it would take forever.
It was done every day. But Carrie's like, oh my God, it must have
I
been
don't- I
6
don't-
years.
I don't think ships
Camels
left
were
every
involved,
day.
I'm pretty sure.
I'll bet you ships did not leave every day. They didn't have that many ships. So they were going to spread the gospel. And they did well. She liked it. You can see pictures online of her sitting in the middle of a whole bunch of Chinese people.
So what the fuck is she saying? I don't know what she's saying. She's speaking in tongues as far as we know.
Unfortunately, their mission in China did not last long because they both got malaria.
Yeah.
Aimee survives malaria, but Robert also gets dysentery.
Oof.
And he dies in August 1910
In China.
in China.
Yikes.
Or maybe Hong Kong.
Okay.
I think they're in Hong Kong by that time. So now Aimee is a widow, and she's young and pregnant.
Oh,
She really wants to continue the evangelical work they started in China, and she considers staying in Hong Kong, but I think she realizes that's not going to work out for her.
No.
So she returns to the United States by ship.
yeah.
And-
camel.
She goes
Took
to,
7 years.
I'm
There
assuming
was
her
the one ship that year that left.
I'm assuming her father is dead by now because there's no
Oh.
more talk of him ever.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he was 112 by
He
this
was
time.
pretty old. She goes to live in New York with her mom, Minnie.
Okay.
And she works with her mom at the Salvation Army. And then she gives birth to their daughter, who she names after Robert. Her name is Roberta Starr Semple.
Okay.
I mean, you think she would have named her Patience or
Bobby Starr.
Liberty
It's a great
or-
name.
Well, I don't think she ever goes by Bobby Star, but that would be a good name.
She does now.
She was destined for show business, wasn't
See.
she? But obviously, she's going to need a husband.
Yeah.
So she finds an unassuming accountant
Perfect.
in New York City named Harold McPherson, and they get married in 1912.
She is not messing around.
Nope. They settle in Providence, Rhode Island.
She's like me buying clothes. If I need a shirt, I find the first shirt that is acceptable in the base way, and I'm done. I'm done with that. It's like her with husbands.
It's not a good way to
I don't have time. I don't have
round
patience.
out your wardrobe. Well,
I'm not a shopper.
so she's got little Roberta. She's like 2. And then I think a year later, in 1913, they have a little boy named Rolf.
Rolf. Really?
I forget
Very
Rolf's
Scandinavian
middle name.
Interesting. I'm going to go with Star also, but 2 R's.
No, it was a good middle name, but for some reason I didn't write it down.
Rolf.
In
Beowulf.
that same
Rolf
year,
Beowulf McPherson. Fact.
she has an attack of the appendicitis, and it's bad.
Oh, no.
She almost dies, and in her delirium, she claims she had a vision from God and that the future of Christianity and the souls of millions were in her hands, and this was her command to be the face of Christianity.
Okay. Think about that.
That's some vision.
It was just appendicitis.
Yes. She says her appendix surgery failed, whatever that means.
Well,
I don't know if they
are you
didn't
alive?
get it out.
Then it didn't.
And she was dying. But when she accepted God's challenge to become the face of Christianity, she said she was able to turn over without any pain. So I guess she was healed in that moment.
It's not interesting how these visions are never like, you know what? Just lead a good life, be decent, treat people well. It's never that. It's no, be famous, make a shit ton of money, buy airplanes.
Yep. Well, and this was at a time when women couldn't vote.
No.
Most churches, if any at all, did not allow women to be preachers.
Wait, how old is she?
This is 1913. So she's 23.
Oh, okay.
So, sure, God's expecting you to be able
Yeah.
to.
Well, I mean, there had been well-known female religious figures before this, so that's not,
Yeah.
and activists, Carrie Nation, people like that, especially with prohibition.
Yeah.
A lot of the famous prohibition anti-alcohol people were women.
Yeah. And who was the lady that I did? The one that
Oh,
dressed like a man, became a man?
Yeah.
Or became a non-gendered entity?
yes, I can't remember. Yes, okay.
Had an acronym for a name? I don't remember.
Earl, something like that.
Well, she did want her ministry to be hopeful and available to everyone.
Sure, just like the Salvation Army.
Then in this same year, she decides that she's really not satisfied staying in one place,
No.
being the devoted housewife. So she starts going out and evangelizing in revival tents it's called the Sawdust Trail. And I'm assuming this is still in Rhode Island or the nearby environs. I don't know if they're in tents or buildings or whatever, but they put sawdust
They're
on the floor
For sure intense. I have to be. I
like
would think.
dampen the sound of people shuffling around
okay.
and doing stuff.
Huh. So probably then sort of impromptu speaking venues, I guess?
Yeah.
Because they're, okay.
And I'm sure there was like a circuit. There were,
yeah.
other people coming in and out doing the same thing. But, this was tense because she would have a separate tent for the people who were going to shout and like tremble and speak in tongues because she thought that would be kind of off-putting to the more kind of mainstream people coming to see her. So she wanted to have both. I'm not sure how she could preach a sermon to do tents at the same time, but
She's like running back and forth. It's hilarious, actually. It's like a Lucille Ball skit.
yeah. So that starts in 1913. So she's doing this, and then
Running back and forth. And praise be unto Jesus. And the Lord said,
then
you're healed. Sorry.
in 1915,
She mixes it up and she starts speaking in tongues of these staid Protestant Methodists. Okay, I'm going to write this.
Yes. Okay. In 1915, one day, poor old Harold comes home to find Aimee, the kids, and the car gone.
Oh, no.
They left. They
Wow.
went to Ontario, Canada.
It's very Christian of her, by the way. Very trad wife of her.
Yes. Where she begins preaching at an evangelistic crusade. I don't know. Did she leave him a note? Did she tell him where she was going?
She left a post-it on the fridge.
I don't know.
Which was fine, which was enough.
But a few weeks later, she sends him a letter asking him to join her.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's nice.
Which he does.
You should do that.
Because his plan is he's going to bring her back home.
Oh, okay. I don't think he is.
But after he sees her preaching, he changes his mind and
Oh.
decides to join her.
I mean, that's the way the story is told. She says, look at all the money you're making. He says, I'm okay with this.
I'm not sure she's making that much
Oh,
money
I bet she's
at
starting to make
this
some
time.
cash-a-rooney. They passed around the hat.
Yes, I'm sure they did. So, but his job is
SNES cash-a-rooney was it's a word back then I was trying to use.
his job is to help set up tents and stuff like that for the revival meetings.
Nice,
And
nice.
he's being a supportive preacher's spouse.
By setting up tents. Okay.
They sell their house
Mm-hmm.
and they lived out of their, quote, gospel car
Gospel car.
traveling around the country. And as they're driving around, she sees like billboards and advertisements lining the roads and thinks, why can't the gospel be advertised that same way? So she prints big signs and puts them on the sides of their gospel car, which, you know, it's like a convertible. It's an
And now
open
we
thing.
have the He Gets Us commercials blanketing the airwaves. Thanks, Aimee.
And they'd park somewhere and where there's going to be some revival meeting or whatever, and she would stand on the back seat of the car and deliver her sermons
Yeah.
to people with some kind of
Bullhorn or
loudspeaker
something?
thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Eventually, so this is what she's doing: literally traveling around the country,
Yelling
doing
religious
this.
stuff at people on the side of the road. That sounds.
and then putting up tents and sawdust on the floor. Eventually, she makes her way to Los Angeles.
Okay.
It takes them like 2 months to get there.
Well,
And-
Carrie, as you know, travel was just. Did they use camels?
No, they used their gospel car, but they probably stopped a lot of times along the way to stand in the back seat of the car
Carrie
and
thinks it still
deliver
takes
sermons
2 months to get to Rhode
And-
Island to Los Angeles. But.
and pass the basket around. So in 1918, they get there. Aimee and her daughter Roberta get the Spanish flu.
Oh no!
Aimee wasn't very seriously sick, but Roberta was. Roberta almost died.
Bobby Star.
According to Aimee,
According to Aimee.
while she was praying over little Bobby Starr, she experienced a vision where God told her he would give her a home in California.
Oh my God! Paid for by people who gave her money for yelling religious things.
I'm not kidding. I have a relative who's like this. I think their house burned down or something, and it was like, it's okay.
Not
God,
a problem.
God will figure it out for
It's
us.
called a coping mechanism.
It's called a delusion.
Well, they're the same thing.
Yeah. Well, it kind of works out for Aimee. In October, that happened. The Spanish flu thing happened before they got to Los Angeles.
Okay,
I'm
well, that's
sorry.
good.
I jumped the gun there.
That's all right.
In October 1918, that's when Aimee and the family drove from New York to LA, taking 2 months. She was preaching in revivals along the way. This is when she founds the International Church of the Foursquare Gospel.
Okay. Yeah, I think I did know that.
That's what
That's
she's
always
calling
going to be
it.
her church, right? Her church name.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is interesting. I don't know what the Foursquare stands
I think
for
it meant
besides
like
the
just
game
like
and the playground.
hey, straight up, we're like truthful,
Yeah.
reliable. We're a Foursquare. Hey, that's Foursquare. I'm not using it in a sentence, but you know what I mean.
Sure. I just remember the game
I think
with four squares on the
Yeah,
blacktop.
it's that too. I
and,
think
you know.
it may have come from that as well. There's varying theories.
Well, her first revival meeting in Los
It
Angeles.
almost was the dodgeball gospel, but luckily,
Her first revival meeting in Los Angeles. I was going to say something bad, but in Los Angeles, it was held at a place called Victoria Hall. Never heard of it, but it was a 1,000-seat auditorium downtown in downtown LA.
okay, probably does not exist anymore. But
Yeah, probably not. She soon reached capacity there, over 1,000
so
people.
she's renting that regularly. Then she's
Yeah.
building it. That was basically her church. Effectively,
yeah, I mean, I don't know for
essentially,
how
or she's
long,
doing
but-
lectures there.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. It could have been cheap, so
But
they made
so-
some money.
Soon she reached capacity and had to relocate to a 3,500 seat venue called the Temple Auditorium on Pershing Square, where people would wait for hours
Wow.
to
So
get
she was
in.
Very
And-
popular immediately.
Yeah, and she would reach capacity.
People forget Southern California was populated by people largely from the Midwest. And so they did have that old time religion. They tended to be very religious. Southern California, people think of Southern California, especially at this time.
Yeah.
The period, before and after World War II, the demographics started to change. But before that, Southern California was very Midwestern.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising they were looking for, obviously they didn't have their ties back with their old churches. They were looking for that kind of thing.
Yeah. And this is also right during upheaval, World War I, Spanish flu. I mean, people are probably kind of looking for something that she's offering.
Yep. What was her? I mean, she's sort of standard evangelical. God's gonna. I don't know. I mean, what was her church preaching? Do you know? Did you see any flavor of what she preached?
Actually, very conservative fundamentalist.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and she wanted to be inclusive.
Yeah,
but she also wanted the religion, Christianity, to be part of every aspect of people's lives. Yeah. Well, she clearly probably would not believe in the separation of church and state. She wanted it in schools and.
Well, obviously, if your business is really, and whatever your business is, you want it to be a bigger part of people's lives. It's not any different with religion. So it's sort of a convenient belief system to,
I don't know that that's necessarily
we'll
good. Okay. So, when she gets to LA, she decides to stop the whole gospel car thing.
Yeah.
And at that time, Los Angeles was also a very popular vacation spot for people. And so her audiences would be a lot of tourists, but also, a lot of people were moving there also. Yeah. And so she was getting new.
It was perfect. I mean, they were untethered. They were from a religious background in most cases. They were looking for that conservative Christianity was very comforting for them. They were looking for traditional, looking for something the glue in their lives. It was very well timed. She was very fortunate in that time. It was very, very good.
Yes, she was. She was very charming and very charismatic. So she's still with Harold McPherson at this time. That doesn't last long.
No.
He decides this isn't for him. So he leaves in 1919, goes back to boring old Rhode Island in his accountant job. And then they eventually get a divorce in 1921. And we never hear from Harold again. So she's got Roberta and Rolf, and her mom comes. Minnie comes to help her out. She still is traveling around a bit because she decides, I don't want to do the gospel car anymore. I want a church. I want a home base, but she needs to raise some money. So she does.
I would have thought, with those kind of crowds, she would be making a ton of money.
But she needs a lot of money. So she travels around to raise money for the construction of a large domed church that she's going to have built in Echo Park. And so.
Trendy.
So in January 1921, she's down in San Diego at the Spreckles Organ Pavilion in Balboa Park.
Sure.
And she's doing healing services. Okay. And there are so many people flocking to Balboa Park to be healed by Aimee that the police, the Marines, and Army people have to help manage traffic and the crowds, 30,000 people at a time.
Wow.
And she had to move to an outdoor site because it was too loud or too many people. She was in something called the Dreamland Boxing Arena, and it only had 3,000 seats, which I didn't even know such a thing existed in Balboa Park.
It doesn't anymore.
Probably not. So she was there for around 5 weeks, doing this every day from dawn until dusk.
Fake healing people every single day. Okay.
And often
I can't walk. Walk up here. You can walk.
At the end, she'd have to be carried away because she was
exhausted.
exhausted and dehydrated from healing everybody.
Someone should have given her water. She should have got water like the marathoners do. It's just like run by,
Yeah.
grab water, and pour, drink half of it, pour the rest off.
And then she was doing a revival meeting in San Francisco. This is later in the same year, 1921. Journalists posing as scientific investigators came by because, she was getting a lot of media attention too. And so people were talking about her healings. And so they would come, and as people would come like off the stage or whatever, claiming to be healed, they would stop them and like cross-examine them
Really?
to find out, if they were really healed or not. Also, a group of doctors from the American Medical Association in San Francisco were secretly investigating some of her revival meetings. And their report stated that her healing was, quote, genuine, beneficial, and wonderful.
Okay. I think someone drank the Kool-Aid.
And this was
AMA.
also, I saw like headlines of like newspaper articles where other reporters were going and they were also drinking the Kool-Aid,
I
thinking
know.
and reporting that,
$100 may have changed
she's really
hands, is all
doing
I'm
this.
saying. I'm not going to conspiracy theory, but
Yeah, who
No,
knows?
she was very convincing and very charismatic.
Yes.
All these people are.
Yeah.
And
Well-
successful evangelists are, I'm going to say it, have the same skill set as successful con artists. I mean, they get you to believe in yourself. They make you feel connected and warm, and,
Yes.
and like everything's personal. And
And we know this goes on today.
yeah,
so,
it goes on. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking of. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
So
the same skill set. It's the same essential connection. It's the same dynamic completely.
and there were a lot of people and organizations trying to call her out as prove that she's a hoax, that it's all a hoax. And there are people who they found out, some people said, oh yeah, I've been healed forever. It's not forever yet, but also no, my symptoms came back in a week, or it didn't last long.
Or no, I mean the vast majority.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not going to even pretend to be 50-50 on this. There's no such thing as spiritual healing. It's a fiction.
Yes.
It's well-known. It's been going on for literally a millennia.
Yes.
It's not real. It's, a form of psychosis.
Yes.
And it's, most of the time, there's no real illness there at all. And certainly there's no real actual physical healing.
Yes.
So,
well, in Denver, she was giving a revival meeting to raise money, and a Serbian Romani tribal chief
okay.
and his mother said they were faith healed by Aimee. He had a respiratory illness, and his mother had a fibroid tumor. And then for the next year, the Romani king
There's no such thing, but okay.
would urge his people to follow her and her wonderful Lord Jesus, and then donate gold, jewelry, and stuff like that to
That's
her.
horrible.
So
From people who cannot afford that.
yes, so they were basically helping her fund the construction of
Lord.
her temple. She didn't want to, be in debt in the building of her temple. So she finds a construction firm that was willing to work with her as she was raising money. So start the construction before I have all of the money, and then we'll do it in phases. And so she began with $5,000, and that was for the foundation. And then she just kept fundraising, and she would do things like sell chairs that would be the seating for the temple. I guess you would have a chair with your name on it or something. That's my guess. I don't know what that means, but
do you know what she's doing in personal life? Is she spending money like water? Because I can't believe she's not easily making enough money to fund this church. She must have been making many times that $5,000 she gave for the foundation.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't seem like it. It costs money to travel around and do that kind of stuff.
Lord.
But
she must have been raking it in.
like her followers build her a house.
Yeah.
I mean, she does, yeah. But she does end up raising more money than she expected. And so she changes the plans of what her church was going to look
I
like.
want 3 domes.
And so she essentially builds a megachurch.
Yeah.
And it ends up costing around $250,000.
Wow. Okay.
And this is
so she
early
was
20s.
making a ton of money. I figured she was. Yeah, that's a humongous amount of money. That's many millions of dollars. That's $7 trillion, as we know these days, in modern currency.
But she also got building materials and labor donated. Not 100%, but
Yeah.
so it did
$250,000,
keep costs down.
But not,
Yes.
not paying for everything. God,
Exactly.
Lord.
And so the building was finished in January 1923. Her followers, or I don't know, members, grew to over 10,000. She called it the Angelus Temple. I listened to a podcast about this, and they called it the Angelus Temple.
Really?
Do they call the city Los
You've never heard of
Angeles?
Los Angeles?
They
Come
did,
on.
and they called it Los Angeles. She moved to Los Angeles and built the Angelus Temple.
It'd be awesome if the pronunciation really is Angelus Temple, and we're just like two houses.
I know, because it's after angels.
for
and
sure
that.
it's
I know.
Angelus Temple. But
Yes,
still.
but she advertised it as the largest single Christian congregation in the world.
Yeah.
And it probably was.
I'm sure it was.
According to church records, they received 40 million visitors within the first 7 years.
Okay, I'm not going to do the math, but
No,
I'll take their word for
but
it.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
This might answer one of your questions. Her sermons combine traditional Christian teachings with innovative techniques.
She was ahead of her. She invented the modern televangelist.
Absolutely.
With
Yes.
bands and the whole PowerPoint presentations.
Illi-
Maybe not that, but
Close. She had
Yeah.
illustrated sermons.
Yeah.
So if PowerPoint existed at the
Okay.
time, she would have used it. And then the faith healing demonstrations.
Yeah, of course.
Eventually, though, she does want to step away from doing the faith healing thing.
it's exhausting.
Yeah,
just dehydrating.
it is very exhausting. But her healing sessions still remain popular with people, and they still asked for them.
It's dangerous though, because it is super fake, and people are going to die, and you could put your foot in it. You could
Yeah.
cure the cancer, and they die next week, and if that becomes a news story, you
Yeah.
could be in some trouble. So
But assuming her origin story is true, she really believes in everything that she's doing. I think. I know
I'm
a lot
speculating.
I know a lot of people don't think she did.
I'm speculating, but I'm 100% positive she knew she was full of shit, and she was a scam artist. She knew exactly what she was doing.
Yeah.
100% positive.
Okay. Well, one thing.
But speculating, which doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah.
but it's just no way. They know everybody who thinks they're healing and knows they're not healing they know they're scamming. She knew she wasn't healing anyone. She was
You
comforting
think?
them. I'm positive.
Nobody believes that? Okay.
No.
Well, one of the things that they had, it was called Stretcher Day.
Stretcher. They give you a stretcher
And it was held behind.
because you have to do things like you often give them the wheelchair, and they didn't really come there in a wheelchair, but you roll them up in a wheelchair. You know what you're doing. You're doing a lot of tricks, and you can't really think you don't believe your own bullshit because everything's a trick.
Well, Stretcher Day was held behind the Angelus Temple parsonage, which is where she lived. And they would do it like once.
It's Angelus. Go ahead.
That's true. Every 5 or 6 weeks. And this was for, the really sick people who can't walk in. They have to be brought in on a stretcher.
Allegedly.
On a, quote, stretcher.
Yeah, of course.
So ambulances would drive up.
We need an iron lung. Stat.
And McPherson would, Aimee, I don't know
Aimee,
why did I call her McPherson? Aimee would greet the patient and pray over them. And then supposedly they'd be healed and jump off the stretcher and walk away. I don't know.
I'm healed. Now I'm going to do a little tap dance.
That's my addition. But so many ambulances were in demand to drive people to Stretcher Day that the Los Angeles area hospitals and medical centers would have to remember to reserve some ambulances so that they would have some for emergencies.
Yeah,
if they
she
needed.
for sure people died because of her because an ambulance
There
didn't
was
get
no
there in
ambulance,
time.
yeah.
For sure, some people died because of Aimee. Amy's ambulance antics. So she, as many people as she healed, she also killed.
Yeah. So faith healing nonsense aside, her church did do some good things.
And by the way, audience members who are into faith and sorry, it's just
we don't believe
it's
in
fake.
it. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, I don't know. You be you. Maybe it's true. It's for sure fake.
Yeah.
There's no question it's fake. That's fine. Go knock yourself out.
Yeah. So here's some good things that her church did. They formed an organization to provide for physical as well as spiritual needs. She got a lot of people involved in charity and social work. She said that, quote, true Christianity is not only to be good, but to do good. They collected donations for humanitarian relief, when it was needed. One was for a Japanese disaster and some German relief fund.
I do remember. Yeah, I think she had soup kitchens in L.A.
Yep.
and things like that.
I'm gonna go through some of the good stuff they did. The Temple quote unquote brotherhood helped men recently released from prison find jobs, and the Temple Sisterhood did things like sew baby clothing for poor mothers who couldn't afford to buy them. In June 1925, after a really bad earthquake in Santa Barbara.
What year? 25?
Uh-huh.
Oh, the 1925 Santa Barbara earthquake.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Aimee interrupted a radio broadcast to request food, blankets, clothing, and emergency supplies.
Well, she just took over the radio station. I'm Aimee Semple McPherson. Get out of the way.
You know what? I was going to say, I realize I haven't already said. Back in 1924, so a year earlier, she buys a radio station in Los Angeles, KFSG, and starts broadcasting her sermons. And
yeah, I do remember her as pretty pioneering in that.
Very. And this is to further, expand her reach. She was the first woman to give a sermon over the radio, and she was only the second woman to be given a whatever license, broadcasting license.
She was the Amelia Earhart of bullshit.
Yes.
Sorry.
Then in 1928, after a dam failed and there was a big old flood, and it killed, I don't know, maybe 400 people. Others say 600 people.
What
Sources
okay, this
differ.
Should be well known. What was this? What dam was this?
I don't know.
You don't know the dam that killed 600 people?
No.
Jesus, Carrie, they aren't there. That's one of the worst dam accidents, and I mean that DAM, ever in the history of the country. It's got to be up there.
Her church.
Damn it, Carrie.
Got involved to lead the relief effort.
That should be a weird world.
Not necessarily.
Not really. No, never mind.
In 1933.
Unless it was molasses.
I'll tell you. Yeah, I was going to say that, but I know where this one was. 1933, Long Beach, California. Another devastating earthquake. She quickly arranged for volunteers to get blankets, coffee, and donuts.
Right.
She also...
Did she think people were giving blood? Because that sounds a little bit more like...
She also got police and fire departments to help her distribute blankets, coffee, and donuts.
They could have done that without her, but that's fine.
She staffed her she had a free clinic, and she staffed it with doctors and dentists that trained nurses to treat children and the elderly. And she prevented the disruption of electricity service to homes of overdue accounts during the winter.
That's very nice.
She set up a cash reserve system with the utility company.
God, I wish televangelists would do anything remotely like that. They certainly advertise. They certainly show pictures of hungry kids in Africa and things like that. They occasionally go there. They're not really doing anything. They never are. I'm sorry.
But these kinds of things, you could do those would be great. You could do it right in your community.
Even if there's a little bit of a catch, we all know there is. They're going to preach to you and things like that. We know that. It's also, let's be honest, it's also a little bit of it's laundering your reputation. You certainly are buying some goodwill. That's fine. But it still does great things and helps people, and you just don't.
But I like the way...
You don't hear about that from that born-again evangelist televangelistic crowd ever.
Yeah, but I like the way they did it. They don't wait for the person whose electricity is going to be shut off to come to you and ask for the $100. Yeah. They have a reserve set up with the utility company.
Huh. Interesting.
Which is a great way to do it.
It is.
And then when the government shut down the free school lunch program, which who knew they had such a thing back then?
Are we in the Reagan administration now? Or the Trump administration?
This is still in the 20s probably.
Wow. No, you said 33
Yeah,
for the earthquake.
It could be the 30s. Huh. She took it over.
Interesting. That was probably in the 20s. I don't know if you get your time wrong, but my guess would be that be in the 20s.
Really?
Yeah, just because they were doing things like that in the 30s, in the New Deal era. They were doing anything they could excuse to spend government money because that's how you were propping up the economy.
Yeah.
My guess is that's in the 20s or the early 30s before Roosevelt.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
She wasn't political. She was very politically neutral, but she did support FDR and his programs. Yeah, she did. Which makes sense.
Not really.
Why?
She's a conservative Christian and a fundamentalist Christian. That's not a real FDR oeuvre.
Well, but so anyway, all of this stuff that she's doing and her radio preaching and all that kind of stuff increases her congregation, and she regularly fills every single seat, and there are 5,000 of them in her temple. She even does stuff like they decorate a float for the Rose Parade, and they win prizes.
Oh.
So she, as you might think, she had a flair for the dramatic. She hired a group of artists, electricians, decorators, and carpenters who would build sets for each of her services.
Jeez.
And then she had an orchestra and to play the religious music. And then she'd have like huge choirs, like 200, 300 people
Jesus.
in her choirs. Yeah. She also would have like elaborate sacred operas. I don't know if she sang. I think she probably did sing. Yeah. Hollywood actors and celebrities would often be involved in these productions, even though she considered theater and film the devil's workshop. But she sure seems
she's basically doing theater every single Sunday.
She absolutely is. One time
I despise the theater, and now jazz hands. Da, 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 da.
This is a sample of one of her theatrical sermons. So her people come into the theater and they see on the stage there's like a motorcycle, like a police motorcycle, and she comes in. She's wearing a police uniform, and she gets on the motorcycle and she turns on the siren.
Was she Christy Nome?
She turns on the siren and says, like, "Stop! You're speeding to hell."
Oh my God!
She got the idea for this because she was arrested for speeding. This is called the Arrested for Speeding sermon. After one of her revival services, she was driving with her family to the beach to relax.
Yeah, you got to get there fast to relax.
So fast, she was driving 31 miles per hour in a 20 mile per hour zone.
No, she could have killed someone.
And even though she was very popular and she was famous at this time in Los Angeles, she was arrested for speeding.
The last time that happened to a celebrity in Los Angeles.
Well, this is big news.
Now you can just rant anti-Semitic nonsense and still you're fine. Don't worry about it.
This is big news in all the papers. So the next weekend, when people showed up to her church, she did this whole thing. And she connected it somehow, what Jesus would say if he was alive today, about being arrested for speeding. I don't know. But anyway, one person who was there later wrote that she drove the motorcycle across the access ramp to the pulpit. I don't know if that's true. Yeah. Slammed the brakes, and that's when she raised her hand and said, "Stop, you're speeding to hell."
Oh my God. There's a 360, a Brody, not 100% sure what that is, a figure eight.
One newspaper reporter wrote in a column, quote, "In 10 minutes, we learned that P.T. Barnum was not the greatest showman of the age. It was Aimee Semple McPherson." Yep.
And she had the police outfit cut very tasteful. Mm-hmm. She showed it off.
She was wearing a skirt with her
very long
uniform
skirt.
And although he was an atheist, Charlie Chaplin kind of secretly would go to her services, and she would have Sunday night illustrated sermons, and he would go. Somebody said, I don't know if this really came from him, he was astounded by the healings he saw.
Oh, no, he wasn't.
But he thought they might be a combination of her skilled hypnotism and the power she commanded over the crowds.
It's just, people want to believe that she's inducing you. I mean, that's
Anthony Quinn.
Hard.
You remember that actor? Mm-hmm. For a short time, he played in the church's band and was an apprentice preacher.
Oh.
Yeah. So she racially integrated her meetings and church services going back to the tent revival days. And apparently, on one occasion in 1924, hundreds of KKK members came because they had heard that she was integrating these services. And she told them some parable about Jesus appearing to a black man and telling him he too had been refused admittance to an all-white church.
Not 100% sure that happened, but
and allegedly,
that's not maybe in the Bible. I don't think so.
And the story goes, she stared the KKK guys down until they left, and then reportedly, they went outside, took off their robes and hoods, and went back inside.
100% didn't happen
because they were so captivated by her.
Okay, all right. Yes, lifelong KKK level racist. Just see the light and no.
Apparently she would give up to 22 sermons a week.
She had a good PR person, that's for sure.
Yeah, she did. So she was very busy. Mm-hmm. And
a lot of sermons.
The Sunday night sermon was the big one with the high production
literally
values.
3 a day every day.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And on the Sunday night illustrated sermon thing, the LAPD would have to come and help controlled traffic coming into Echo Park
Yeah.
for Aimee. I told you her sermons were kind of conservative and fundamental. Her message was very conservative, but she was delivering it in a very progressive and modern way, which was kind of a problem for a lot of people. Some people didn't like that.
Can't please everyone.
Nope. But also, well, as we'll see eventually, including her own mother. So I think this will be a two-parter.
Positive. This will be a two-parter.
So we'll end here. And
I want to hear about the disappearance.
well, I was going to say the second part will be more controversy and scandal and how she disappears and what happens after that.
Way to bury the lead, but okay. It's going to be my favorite part. I'm positive. Although there was murder at the beginning with the pitchfork murder of her
Yes.
mom. Her
And
not her
scandal.
mom, but- okay. All right.
So, dear listeners, not readers, as Dean refers to you,
Sometimes.
come back next week.
All right.
To
For
hear
part
part
two
two
of the Aimee Semple McPherson. We were very in sync there. That was
I
really
know.
impressive.
That was good.
All right.
Thanks
See
for
you guys.
listening. Bye.